Hey foodies, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be making sausage roll. So if this is your first time you're stopping by, you are most definitely welcome. Please proceed to the VIP section. And don't forget to subscribe, because that is your ticket to the VIP section. So sit tight and let's get cooking. So now we're going to start by adding our flour, and for the measurement is going to be in the description box. So after you've added the flour, you're going to add your salted butter. So because I'm using salted butter, there won't be any need to add salt. So after that is done, we're just going to try to rub all that in to make sure it is well incorporated with the flour. So what we are doing now is we are making sure that the flour and the margarine is well combined. We're using our fingers and our hands to rub it in and make sure it is well combined. And once you are done, to know if you got the right consistency, you have to compare it to grounded egusi, the way it normally looks like. It's going to look exactly like that, just like bread crumbs. So now you can see exactly what we are looking out for. You can see the way it's looking like crumbs. That is to show you that it is well combined. And then once that is done, we are just going to create a hole and then proceed to the next stage. And if yours is not looking like this, then you know that the butter wasn't enough. So that means you have to add extra butter. So one thing I've learned so far in making your meat pie dough or sausage roll, you have to be very careful of the quantity of water you're adding, because you can just easily over add the water because the consistency is already delicate. So once you over add the water just slightly, it just gets sticky. So what I'm doing is I'm just trying to just add the water bit by bit as I'm trying to combine all those ingredients together. I'm adding the water in bits. This way you can have 100% control of how it would end up. So now once you've added the water and you see that okay, more is needed, then you can decide to add some extra tablespoons. And roughly what I added here was 7 tablespoons of water, was just perfect for this recipe. So now once that is done, we're just going to mix that all up and make sure that it has all come together as one and it is not sticky on your hands. So our dough now is well combined, and we just have to be careful not to overwork our dough. Now this consistency is just what we are looking for. It's not sticky, it is just perfect. So now we're just going to just get all those remaining dough together and then get a film bag and wrap it and put it in the freezer while we prepare our sausage filling. The whole idea behind putting your dough in the freezer, sometimes you may be wondering, like, why do I have to put my dough in the freezer? The idea is to allow the fat to be firm, and then it will allow you to easily work with your dough. And then once you put it in the oven, it will melt, and this is what actually gives your meat pie that flaky crust. So for our sausage filling, this is what I'm using. So I'm just transferring it to a clean plate, and then we can now mash it or grind it. Now that it's all blended, I'm just going to go in with nutmeg, some garlic powder, and some grounded pepper. If you notice, I just use 3 spices for this filling, for this sausage filling, because there is no need to add salt or seasoning cube because this sausage already has all that. So I just added those just to spice it up more a little bit. You can even just decide to go with it plain, but we can just, you know, have some drama in there, just have some mix of flavors to heighten the flavor. So now I'm just combining everything together. Make sure it is well combined. Be careful not to spill it like I just did. But anyway, just throw away some extra spill. Once we are done with our sausage filling, the next thing we're going to invite to the high table is our dough. So we're going to invite that, transfer it to a clean surface, and then get ready to work with it. As I was just slicing the dough, I thought for a minute I was making meat pie. I just remembered that it was sausage roll that we are making and not meat pie. So now I'm just going to knead the dough. And one thing I love about this white consistency that we got is as you're kneading it, you see that it is not sticking to our rolling pin or anything. It is just going smoothly. So make sure you knead it flat, make sure it's not thick, so you continue kneading until you get to that thickness that you want, and then you know that it is okay. So now I'm just going to cut it out. Make sure you cut out a rectangular shape. I'm no perfectionist, so we're just going to just do it as much as we can and get the shape right. So now that it is done, we're just going to remove the excess and then continue. You know, one thing I love about this recipe is that it was just simple. It was just so simple, yet we have very rich flavor. And for this dough, we just didn't need much. We just needed our flour and then our margarine and water, and then that was all we needed. And it was very, very crusty, and believe me, it was extremely yummy. It was so yum that everything finished in one day. We just forgot about trying to cut down our calories. You know, some days you just have to forget about all that and enjoy yourself. We're going to break some eggs. We already broke one egg, and that's why I'm going to brush it through the end of that dough, where we are going to just join it all together and make sure it sticks perfectly. So now I'm just going to get the sausage and then transfer it to our dough. And if you notice, you see that I shifted my hands further in, just to make sure that as you're trying to wrap it all up, it is easier. That way it doesn't spill much. So now you can add the sausages to your preference. You can add as little or as much as you want. Like for me, I love mine, you know, I love to eat it and I can feel the meat. I can make sure that as I'm eating it, I'm eating, this is so meaty. So I'm just going to add just enough for this dough. And then once that is done, we're just going to gently bring it up and wrap it. Make sure that you are doing that gently, because you don't want it to spill. It definitely will spill, but at least it won't spill so much. So now we're just going to wrap it. Make sure it is well wrapped. Then we'll go the second time and then roll it over. I noticed that for this dough was much, so I just had to cut it out there and then get egg, brush it over before I now wrapped it up together. So for the excess sausage filling that fell out, I just tucked them back in from where they fell out from, and then I just cut the size that I wanted, and then this is just the perfect size for me. So now I'm just going to perforate the dough and set it aside. You can decide not to, it is completely optional. I just wanted to give some nice finishing to my sausage roll. But you can decide to skip it. So now I'm just going to repeat the same process that I did before. You add the sausage, wrap it up, brush it with egg, and then set it aside. And that is all that we need to do. You see that this process, it's just very easy to make. You just have to be careful about wrapping it up and then slicing your dough. But aside from that, it is so easy to make. And for that extra color pop, we're going to glaze our pie with egg. Reason being that glazing it through is going to awaken it and give it this burnished nice look. And if you notice, if you don't glaze it, it always looks so dull and it doesn't look appetizing. And you know, the eyes always eat first before the mouth. So we're just going to glaze it through, and once we are done, we're going to place it in the pan, throw it in the oven, and allow it to bake. Now we're just going to transfer to our baking tin. As you can see, I always try to, if you're watching my video from the beginning till now, you'll see that I always try to improvise, showing you that you can also make meat pie or sausage roll with just a baking tin. Voila! And after about 30 minutes in the oven, here is our end result. Like you can see that flaky crust, the burnished look, the extra color pop. As you can see, everything was just so perfect. So I hope you all enjoyed this recipe as much as I did. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Share with a friend, and most importantly, thanks for watching. Don't be a stranger. Bye.